Right, this is our real thoughts on Pixels. Surprisingly, it's not that different from the review. But I think over time you got to hate it even more than I did.
I hated it more. When we were doing the review, I started hating it more as I was really like looking at what we were saying about it. But I still, you know, there's been a bunch of reviews going around. I won't name names, but some of them have gone viral. And they're declaring it's the worst thing ever, and oh my god, it's so cynical, and it's just trying to cash in 80s nostalgia, and this may be the most desperate, saddest example of it, and really? Like, Pixels? Because it's not a good movie. It's not even anything remotely resembling a good movie. It's a bad movie, but I'm, like, thinking of all the things like Terminator Genesis, Smurfs, Garfield, and like really Pixels is the one we're going to flip our shit over and be like, even that's it, the final straw. Like the final straw has been years ago. Like this, it's not even enough of a train wreck for me to get that worked up over. It was just shocking in how nothing it was. Just nothing beginning to end.
I think that's why people were getting as angry as they were, because, I mean, this is like not only just an Adam Sandler movie, this is a $110 million Adam Sandler movie that's supposed to be his big budget action film, and it still relies on just the unfunniest parts of Adam Sandler's comedy, which Adam Sandler's comedy can be very funny. And very inventive and so much fun.
Generally, if he's got some rage involved, it's like some of the better ones. I have seen Zohan now, and I don't think I liked it as much as you did. But
I thought Zohan was so funny.
Okay, I'm like,
it's very racially insensitive. Don't get me wrong.
There were parts of it that I'm like, okay, this is really funny. Didn't like it as much, but I like Happy Gilmore. I like Wedding Singer.
Yeah.
And there tends to be an element of rage where he gets unhinged somewhere in the movie. I liked Punch Drunk Love.
50 First Dates, I think he's pretty even-tempered. I thought that was pretty good.
He was pretty even-tempered there, but there tends to be something, and in this one, it was almost like a non-performance.
Yeah,
that's the funny thing, there's no goofy voice. There's one, I think there was one line where he kind of did a goofy voice, and that was it. I was like, wow, this really just, I can't even yell and scream about how, Adam Sandler's being obnoxious. It's almost just like he didn't even show up.
Yeah.
I've never been in an Adam Sandler film where I'm just like, Christ, will you do a goofy voice just so something's happening?
Well, and he can be, I mean, the thing whenever people think of, they think of like, just the fart jokes and stuff, but he can be so, I mean, not just charming, but like Will Smith insanely charming. Not just in real life, but in these movies, he can be so likable.
I'm not going to go Will Smith, but...
No, but I mean, he's... Well, okay, whenever people talk about...
I think we're giving a little too much credit there, but...
This is why I hate filming in this room.
Why don't you just put it on automatic?
Because then we're just like shadows.
Okay.
But...
Stupid modern technology. Anyway, But yeah, the point is, somewhere in between this, which is just a nothing performance, it's just like, literally he sat there, just read his lines and left.
And then something like Waterboy or Little Nicky.
Or fucking Little Nicky, which I still haven't forgiven you for dragging me to that back in the day.
Should you?
Yeah.
But I hadn't seen it yet, to be fair. We were both discovering
somewhere in between those two is a pretty good Adam Sandler performance. And like, this isn't it. He just doesn't do anything.
Well, yeah, I think because, like... There's something to... I think with this movie, they kind of wanted, like, another kind of Ghostbusters-ish thing, and so they wanted Sandler to be...
Bill Murray.
No, but that's what I think they were kind of banking on. They want him to kind of be like Bill Murray, where he's, like, kind of funny, but he's also kind of like the everyman and stuff like that. So we don't want the goofy voice. We kind of want something like Ghostbusters, but... And honestly, no, to be fair, I think he could pull that off okay, but this type of humor that they're doing, where they're still relying on all these tropes and these cliches and just non-humor half the time.
The script makes no sense. I mean, the whole big thing throughout the thing is that he just keeps saying to this woman, "Oh, you're kind of snobby. Oh, you're somebody's snobby."
Yeah, that's what we cut out from the review. Is like at the end of every shot, I just turn to Taylor and I go, "Snob!"
Yeah, and like that is like the running thing. Like, oh, she's snobby. Like, and I'm like endearing, and yet like occasionally she will look at him like, you know what? his charm's starting to work on me after he called me a snob for the 700th time, you know. The whole, like, so many jokes. Here's part of the problem. There's so many jokes where it's all set up and no payoff.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That
like, I'm getting ready to laugh at some of
Yeah,
this.
I was the same way. I was like, because I'm like, it's video games, Adam Sandler. I'm like, I'm ready to laugh. I'll laugh. And it was like all set up. All set up to a joke or a punchline, and then nothing happens. It's like, oh, I guess the joke happened, and we missed it.
When I saw Brian Cox was in this movie, I got really excited. And then when I saw he's like this general guy who had the military, I got even more excited. And then it's like, shit, they're just doing the same phoned-in bullcrap where I'm just gonna make you look bad, and I'm the guy with no sense of humor, most unorthodox.
The whole scene in the beginning where he leaves and he gets called to the White House because Kevin James is the president.
Yeah,
fuck.
That is one point I'm like, even for a Sandler film,
we looked at each other and we're just like, no, that can't be right. That's a joke, right? That's not. I'm like, oh, they're really doing this.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's too dark. All right, no, it's okay. I'm just
and they do nothing with the fact that he's president. It's almost like it literally was, again, a setup with no payoff. They had that whole setup about, oh, it's tough at my job, oh, and I gotta wear a suit every day, no matter what I do, people don't like me, and it's just like, do a full reveal shot, and there's the Secret Service. Guess he's the president. It's like
that
they
one
wrote him
little
as the
joke is not
president.
even that good.
Yeah, it's almost like
and
just for that reveal. They did it just for that fucking reveal.
But Peter Dinklage, who is just like right now on fucking fire with the choices he's making and how charismatic and funny he is.
I don't know what he's doing in this movie.
But like a lot of people in Sandler movies, it's like you bring in these really good people, and I'm sure they're just like, okay, this Sandler guy is pretty popular, I think, with the kids and stuff like that, so let's kind of try it, whatever. And like, there's no direction, there's no thought, there's no anything, or maybe it was funny on set. But yeah, for the theater, I mean, it's just these long pauses of silence, like, you're supposed to laugh here, and just like,
I'm gonna do some sort of accent, you're not gonna, what accent was that? What was he doing?
I don't even know. Because like, sometimes you go California, then British, and then American, House, you know, it's like...
Oh man.
Yeah.
Talk about an epic Dinklage fan. Well, here's the thing. It's like, well, at least it's good that he's reminded us that he can be in shit again if he needs to be.
Yeah.
Like like sometimes it's like he's human after all. Like,
yeah, because people forget before Game of Thrones, you know, and Narnia and stuff like that. It was in a lot of crap.
Yeah, it wasn't always perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, Dinklage's career has
usually
not been
good,
spotless, but he's been so good lately that it's like, okay, good. No, you're human. Okay, yeah, So he was terrible in this.
Is it the worst? No, I think people are just finally fed up because, like I said in the review, they see this talent and they want to like Sandler. They hear he's a nice, great guy, and I totally believe them. And he seems like a really nice, great guy, and he can be really funny,
not a
really
personal
talented,
vendetta against Adam Sandler, the person.
No,
but the professional career side just...
Yeah, but it's like, I want to see this great comedy because he never really got, you know, the plots... Always, from day one, were recycled. They were terrible plots.
The only one
but he was funny, and he could bring this comedy to it.
The only actor I kind of liked in this whole thing was the kid. Like that was about it. I was like, well, his performance seems legitimate at least for the most part, except for an inexplicable scene where he's getting pixelized and he's smiling, and I'm like, what?
Some people, especially kids, I find have a thing where when they're supposed to be like. Crying, they do like a little smile or something like that.
Then do a take two.
I agree. I'd say don't do that. Try it again.
But yeah, the weird thing is like watching the beginning of this movie. I was more interested in what was going on with these kid characters at the arcade competition.
Yeah, because
than anything with them as adults. Those kids were kind of interesting, and it got me thinking. I'm like. This movie was done completely wrong. Who the fuck wants to see a grown-up Adam Sandler and some, and Kevin James and the snowman from frickin' Frozen playing giant video games as adults? This could have been a perfect kids movie.
No, I think you really summed it up. I mean, you could have had them be kids. It could have happened in the 80s.
You could have happened in the 80s. You could have had them be kids. It would be kind of a spoof of those Japanese monster films where there's always some child that somehow knows how to solve the problem.
You could do it like Super 8 kind of, except you don't make it more scary, you make it more funny.
Yeah, and I'm just looking at this like this could have been a perfectly fine kids film, but the fact that they're using adults just completely kills the idea.
Yeah, no,
Like-
I agree. And the fact they tried to make it an Adam Sandler movie instead of, a more recent kind of comedy, because this is just so dated.
Completely wrong director. I don't know how Chris Columbus got attached to this, but
I think they were hoping, because he wrote Gremlins and stuff like that, that'd be something kind
if this
of
was
similar.
anywhere near as dark as Gremlins or as interesting, that would have been fine, but...
That would have been interesting, like a really dark red. Like, Pac-Man eating the guy's hand, it's like, that's a good start, that's kind of a good, and even them getting pixelated,
Here's the thing, though.
But
The action scenes in this film suck. They're confusing. You can't make out really what's going on. It literally, like, I know we say this about Michael Bay films, but at least Michael Bay films, whatever's supposed to be going on while that camera is shaking like mad, it somehow makes sense in there. Like, I feel like, okay, in this universe, something's going on. He's just shaking the camera. This one, the camera isn't even always moving around, but it's literally like they just threw a bunch of effects together randomly. Like that finale in Washington, D.C., there was so much shit going on. I'm like, I don't know what to look at. Tell me what to look at, because there was so much shit going on. I couldn't make it out. It's like there's 40 things here, 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 and here. And most of the action was not that interesting. I don't think Chris Columbus is a good action director. I don't know why you would get somebody like him to do this. Like,
again, I think they're aiming for, in Ghostbusters, Ivan Reitman wasn't an action. I think everything was trying to recreate
Ghostbusters isn't really an action film.
No, I agree, but again, I'm trying to say why choose him. I think because
the closest thing I could think of that Chris Columbus would have done like this would have been maybe Harry Potter. But
again, that's not really
the third Potter film's the best. The two just pass by in cuteness, but I don't remember it for its action.
Yeah.
Like, if I think of the action set pieces from the Potter films, they tend to be from the later movies.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't... And even Gremlins, I wouldn't put down as an action film. It's a horror film.
Well, he wrote it. He didn't direct it.
He didn't direct it. So, that was Joe Dante. Joe Dante should have done this movie.
Man, he hasn't done that many huge, big, great stuff recently either.
You know what? I think this would have been more up his alley, though, than Chris Columbus.
Well, and then here's the big thing,
because he did films like Explorers. He's done films with childhood nostalgia. He's done, he's done things with special effects, even if I didn't love them.
But Looney Tunes Back in Action is not a good movie, but it's much closer than Space Jam to capturing what the Looney Tunes were.
And Small Soldiers, I don't think is a good movie, but he knew how to work with the special effects, so I could at least tell kind of what was going on.
Yeah.
This one... Yeah, I don't know.
And I think what they were trying to do too...
I think Chris Columbus was like everybody else in this film, just wasted.
I think what they were trying to do too is that, one of the reviews was saying, like, they're trying to make Sandler look like a geek, kind of like today's geek that can be kind of popular with like superhero movies and stuff like that.
Because he does a Geek Squad kind of thing.
They throw on the Geek Squad.
He doesn't look like a geek. He just looks like
games.
that random dude you don't want to talk to who's installing your television.
And then again, you have to bring
oogles
in...
you creepily, and you're like, what?
It's just very clear they don't understand kind of like that geek culture, at least the entertaining geek culture. And then you try to throw in, the snowman from Frozen, who we're just trying to make even more pathetic and more creepy, which, I mean, right now, it's like there are so many pathetic, weird, creepy internet trolls and stuff like that it's like, just take your pick, choose anything. It's like, I don't know what this is, what this guy is that you created, but there's so many funny, totally weird, pathetic people out there that you can easily make fun of, and it's just, you're not even making fun of them. I don't know what they're trying to do here with this guy. It's like, I think they're trying to be those pathetic people, but like, I didn't recognize it. I think a lot of this is like, they're thinking like they're sort of acknowledging and doing a parody of this geek culture, but it's like, they've never seen today's geek culture.
Well, of course, because it's about 80s games. So instead of setting it in the 80s, which would have made some fucking sense, it's like, well, we're going to set it now. And apparently there's only 3 people in the universe who've ever played an 80s game. And as we pointed out in the review, I remember sitting there as he grabs the gun and he's firing at the centipede. I'm like, in what universe? I know people are like, well, if you play video games, good hand-eye coordination. Great.
Not like
awesome. Not like this. You don't automatically know how to use bazookas and laser guns, and maybe if he had been playing Duck Hunt this whole time, but we didn't see that.
Yeah.
Or that frickin' Nintendo bazooka or whatever. So I'm like, how does this translate from mashing buttons to grabbing a gun and having impeccable aim.
Or driving,
Or
you know,
running
in the
around, these
car.
out-of-shape guys running around.
Yeah.
You know, or driving a car or racing, which brings us to the other thing. I mean, this drove me fucking insane. Like, because they make this huge thing that Peter Dinklage's character cheats. Oh,
Yeah,
you
there's,
cheated, and the aliens are all upset. Oh, you cheated!
And how the hell did he cheat? You actually see over the screen like his car
They never
teleports.
explain that.
And it's like, I
They
used the cheat
never
code. Where did he
explain
put the cheat code in the car? Never explained. How can that work in real life? It's never explained.
Yeah, how
And then
does
all
it
builds up
work
to
in
the
real
ending.
life that knowing a cheat code somehow makes your car magic, like it's being run by a wizard? How does that... How? That was never explained. Like, at least there was some sense of physics that these aliens have created these pixel things, and they're attacking. Just like in Independence Day, the ships attack. Fucking Jeff Goldblum didn't say, well, I'm gonna enter a cheat code and make my Volkswagen Beetle, like, zip across. It doesn't work that way. And here's the thing, I would have forgiven that. I would have forgiven that if it weren't for the fucking ending, and I was the one who definitely was like, you need to put this in here when he tosses the hammer, because I'm like, these aliens were so pissed off that they cheated, so I'm like, okay, there's a moral, never cheat. So how does Adam Sandler win the day? By doing a move in Donkey Kong that you can't fucking do. You can't just throw a hammer and take out Donkey Kong, so he cheated. So the whole point of that, it was just absolutely pointless. He just cheated his way to victory. Somehow it blows up the alien mothership. I don't know how. What were these aliens' deals anyway? Like, they never
We never
explained
see
that.
the aliens, yeah, which I wouldn't even mind if they gave kind of a cool reason or something, but it's like, no, and then we never communicate, we never find out anything really about them except that they misinterpret this message. And, you know, again, if it was, well, come on, you just want to see Adam Sandler go up against video game characters and stuff, I would have loved that movie. I would have loved if they did like the Lego movie where they were just making it up and it was ambitious and it was funny and it didn't, you know, logic be damned or just having fun. But that's not what it did. You had to feel for him. You had to have the corny romance. You had to have the bully.
Yeah.
You had to have all these staples that are not funny.
Oh my god! And do you get what I mean though? That at least Jurassic World spent all of like 2 minutes on that stupid romance and you were kind of done. Like, look at how long
that talk with him and her at the party just goes on forever.
Yeah,
and it's
look
like,
how
we know you're going to get together.
long this lasted. It kept going on and on. I hate you, I hate you, I hate you. At the very end, oh, you helped save my son, I love you now.
Well, hey, how about instead of, let's just put in a 2-second romance, how about we just, if we're going to do a romance, let's do it good. I don't think that's an excuse for Jurassic World.
No, but it's a lot easier to get to and to get through and to forgive than sitting through the romance and something like this. I swear to God, it's like 40 fucking minutes.
That's like saying you want a punch to the face or a kick to the nuts. Well, I guess a punch to the face, then a punch to the face is good. No, it's still bad.
What was the last really good romance you've seen in a blockbuster film lately?
Well, now I gotta go through all like the blockbuster films and stuff.
My point exactly. So you're generally in a blockbuster movie going to get smacked around somehow. Yes, I will take the slap in the face over the giant knee to the groin, the testicular killing knee to the groin any day. And Jurassic World was a slap in the face. This was a knee to the fucking groin.
I don't want to be slapped, so I am, you know, crazy me making it.
Then don't go see movies.
Hey, yeah, maybe in movies we shouldn't get slapped.
Then don't go see movies because it's gonna happen.
Oh yeah, your way makes a lot more sense.
No, I'm just saying it's gonna happen. They're they're not listening to us, so it's gonna happen. So I will at least appreciate. It's like,
well, no.
You know what? Fine. I have Stockholm syndrome. I have identified with my fucking captors, and you know what? Jurassic World. I have Stockholm syndrome, and when I just got slapped in the face instead of getting kneed into the groin or having electrodes like shoved into my testicles or whatever, I'll take it. I'll take it, and I will say
Sandler
thank you,
romance
sir. And that's what a Sandler romance now does to me.
But no, I think we've seen Sandler films, or just Sandler products like Master of Disguise and other Happy Mads and bullshit. That's much worse.
Well, that's what killed me. I did that because everybody was flipping out about this. And everybody's like, oh my God, can you believe this movie's gonna be terrible? And I was like, Well, I don't know, video games. I like saw a Chris Columbus film. I'm like, well, Chris
That was
Columbus
kind
is
of cautiously
is hit and miss,
optimistic,
but
yeah.
I mean, he's done some good stuff. I've
So
enjoyed.
Sandler, so we're kind of hoping Peter Dinklage. These are
Well,
all
but
good
here's the
people.
thing, and I've just like I thought it was just Adam Sandler was in it. Like somebody just
I
cast
didn't know
Adam
it was Happy Madison.
Then about 2 weeks before the film came out, I saw it was a Happy Madison production. I was like, oh no!
Yeah.
I was like, shit! I didn't realize it was actually
bam, already shot.
yeah. No, bam, I already shoot myself. Like
Yeah.
I just God. I'm trying to think if there's anything else about this fucking.
I really want to
But
see.
the thing is, it's not.
What?
You know what? Just Utah. I'm monopolizing the conversation just because.
Well, I was just gonna say, I think Sandler can still do good stuff, and I'm hoping Hotel Transylvania 2 is good. You know, because that was a good movie, and
I liked the original. Yeah.
I think there's something to when, and I thought that got really panned, Hotel Transylvania. So it's one of those things.
Okay,
when you look at a lot
let
of
me be
his
clear.
films-
That was not exactly a great work of
no,
art.
but
like,
it got panned, and I'm like,
But it was
Really?
it was perfectly passable. I would that to me is a grade wise not.
I know, I kind of
It's a B movie, and that if you're grading it A through F, I'm like it's a B minus movie. I think it's perfectly fine.
No, I was talking with I think I've shared the story before, but the director of 8 Crazy Nights saw the review when it was still up, and shared it and said, I actually really liked this. I acknowledge now, you know, it's the faults of it, but, you know, he also praises some of the good stuff. And he told me a little bit about Adam Sandler. He said that he really does feel, even though not all of his stuff is great, that there is kind of this bandwagon of let's all just hate Adam Sandler because we've gotten used to it. Let's just hate everything he fucking does. And, you know, to some extent, there's a lot of stuff he does that is just so painful and so bad, but then on other times when something like Hotel Transylvania comes out, and it's like, no, like, he's, not only is this movie good, but he's good in it, and he does a good job, and when people are just like, no, but it's Adam Sandler, so it can't be good, it's like, I'm starting to
I don't
or even
play
with
that
Pixels, no, this is the worst, this is the absolute most
No.
terrible, awful.
It's not even
I'm starting
any-
to believe it a little.
I'm sorry. Anybody who sits there and goes on and on about how this is the one, this is it. It's not going to get any worse than this. It's like Hollywood,
you haven't seen Fantastic
failed. Yeah, until Fantastic Four. Now that's the new one everybody's hating on. It's like anybody who says that, I don't trust him.
Yeah.
Because I'm like I don't.
You're looking to bitch about something. This is an easy target.
It's an easy target. It's low-hanging fruit. And I know we've been sitting here bitching about this movie, but really when it's all said and done, I can't even, it's not funny, and it exists. That's all I can say about it. It is not the worst thing ever made. I've seen 1,000 movies 1,000 times worse than this. There are movies that try to basically campaign on our nostalgia way worse than this. Like, it is not...
Have you seen the latest Gem trailer?
Yeah, it is not... I love when people are just like, oh, it's the most cynical attempt by Hollywood to even attempt to basically leech off our nostalgia like this. I'm like, really? Really?
This is the one?
Did you just crawl out of a cave? Like, were you living in a cave for 20 years now? Like, this is the one all of a sudden? So it's not even in the same ballpark. It's just simply a bad movie. It's a
bad,
failed comedy. It's like, the best way to compare it is Arnold Schwarzenegger's Jr., where you just sit there and you're just like, it just doesn't leave an impression. It's not funny. You sit there, you're like, well, somebody thought this was going to get a laugh. It's like Arnold Schwarzenegger isn't that funny, you know, the guy who should be hilarious normally. And it's the same thing with Sandler. I would normally think Sandler, at least, even if he's not funny, would be outrageous. And he's not even outrageous in this movie. It's like the most restrained Sandler performance I've seen in years.
Well, that was one of the reasons, outside of all the people asking me to do, you know, hey, can you do the clipless review of Pixels? I wanted to address the hate it was getting because, again, I mean, going back to nostalgia, the Adam Sandler movies, I mean, those were big fucking hits. And now it's like we have the similar formula and we're sick of it. So again, trying to take something of that past and be like, why did it work then, not now? And I think it is because just nothing is being added or furthered or gained to it at all, and it's relying on the worst qualities of those films, which I like a lot of those films, but there's a lot of bad qualities and it's relying on those instead of the best qualities of the
He and his team are writing formulaic 80s movies. That's all this is. Like, literally, it is like Ghostbusters, it is like Stripes, it is basically a bunch of outsider nerd types who
will never amount to anything.
Mostly kind of incompetent in everything, but are good at this one thing. I mean, the Ghostbusters, when you look at it, I mean, the dean was totally right. He's like, you're not very good scientists. But when it came to busting ghosts, they were good at this one thing, you know, like Army of Darkness, Evil Dead 2, Ash is an idiot, but he's good at that one thing, defeating Deadites. Like, you know, just done all over again. And the thing is, it's old now. Like,
it's so
unless you're gonna be really fresh with it, like,
yeah,
I mean,
do something new
I liked
with it.
Happy Gilmore, and it's the same kind of formula. And yes, I still think it's funny, but that was years ago.
No, but on top of it, there is this
still
energy.
in the 90s.
There is this energy. There is this, you know, comedy to it that's still strange and unexpected, and can still make me laugh, even though I'm like, yeah, I know this story, or something. You know, Wedding Crashers is the same thing. That's not a good story by any means, but I like these two. They are likable, they are enjoyable, and they're funny. And I think, yeah, just somewhere along the line, it's like you can't. It's like the charisma of Sandler here, you know, belongs in something that's like, you know, a drama or something like that. It doesn't belong in this kind of goofy
there is no
comedy now, because you're relying on all the tropes that haven't worked.
I don't even think it would work in a drama. There just was no. That was the weird thing. There just was no charisma. I can't even say, oh, he was obnoxious, or I hate the sound of his voice. There just was nothing. It's just like he just showed up. Nah, I'm gonna read my lines and then leave. You know,
everyone's saying the past few movies are like of his have been like that, and I don't know what's going on. I don't know if they're just bad choices or something going on. But I mean, this is a guy that's got mad talent and can be so funny, and everyone says is just such a nice person. It's like, I would love to see him come back and do something totally different, totally new, but totally energized and totally passionate. And, you know, for it to succeed, I would love to see that. And maybe this will be like kind of the wake-up call, like, hey, this is a lot of money we spent on this, and like this ain't working anymore. We gotta try something different, something new, and we have to really put in a lot of effort into making it fresh and new, and not just relying on the old tricks. So
I don't know. All I know is it's not even worth getting that worked up over. Mm-hmm. Like,
as we just kind of did. But I know what you're talking about.
But I mean, here's the thing. We do this for the review and to talk to people, and we get it all out at once. But, like, I'm not going to be sitting here fuming over pixels.
Yeah, I'm not going to, like, keep me up at night. I'm not going to let.
And I will admit that
day.
We're trying to entertain you guys as well. A lot of you may think we're not doing a very good job. You know, so,
or a lot of you take it too seriously.
So, you know, the idea is, you know, we're trying to make it entertaining and arguing. And yes, I really do feel that way, that there's so many stupid decisions in this movie. And as I say them, they sound bad, but I'm going to completely forget about this movie right after we turn the camera off.
Yeah.
Because I've forgotten about it already, and like for a good 2 days now. And it's I'm not going to sit here and go to bed every night. How dare they make pixels? It made me sad. My childhood is raped and ruined. And it just stabbed me in the ass.
No, if you want to agree, look at college humor, like Death of Childhood or something like that. It's just another one of those where people complain, no, Michael Bay, you know, destroyed my childhood. And then it shows someone that was like a World War II survivor. It's just like, I saw my parents killed in front of me. That destroyed my childhood. And they show the real, like, people who had their childhood destroyed.
Well,
and
here's
like,
the thing.
those are real problems.
We've got Gem, we've got Transformers, we've got Turtles, we've had all these things. I could get something like Zelda. Maybe Zelda, maybe Metroid. How? I grew up in the 80s. I was more of an Atari and an NES person. But how attached you have to be to Donkey Kong and Pac-Man? Like, outside of fucking King of Kong, how attached you have to be where you're like, this raped my childhood because look at what they did to poor Pac-Man. I can't believe not Cubert. Like, I mean, those games were fun, but they really had you couldn't get as attached to it. There was no real plot to most of them. Super Mario Brothers had more of a plot than any of those.
I really do think it's because so much time and money went into this movie that it's such a rehash of these formulas.
Oh no,
that were never that good
I have heard arguments about how just like it's ruined my childhood. I'm like, listen,
really? Okay.
I've been to arcades, I played NES games. Super Mario Brothers, that stupid movie, didn't ruin my childhood. I certainly bought Super Mario World still and still play like it. How attached to video games are you, particularly older video games that I just can't see myself getting that attached to Pac-Man.
I always say with like...
Or Cubert.
No, but I always say with like
Space
whatever, I mean,
Invaders.
with like George Lucas and and these nostalgic things and Michael Bay taking over Turtles, if you're letting that destroy your childhood, you never had a childhood worth holding on to. If you're really gonna let that kill your childhood and your love for
Hey, sir,
passion.
I was chained to a radiator and abused as a child, and all I had was Cooper. You shut up. Like,
Please share me that story. That's the truth. That should be on 2020.
that should have been Pixels. Hardcore drama. Kid whose only life was video games.
But yeah, that about summed it up there. Yeah, not the worst, not even worth getting that angry over. But I wanted to do it because A, everybody was asking me to do a clipless review, and B, I really did want to address the anger it was getting, because kind of before Fantastic Four is the new one, but before that, like, that was the one.
Well, that shows you,
like, the death of cinema.
That shows you when you hear that argument about the death of cinema, and it's the worst, and that was the perfect example of like how everybody was all over Pixels, and then Fantastic Four came out a couple weeks later. It's like,
really, yeah.
And like, listen, the Fantastic Four movie, I'm sure sucks, but again, we've seen a lot of shit. It's really hard to be like, no, this is the worst thing ever. Like, for one thing, I just don't want to give Pixels that much credit. It's not even good. It's not even good enough to be the worst thing ever. So, and plus, it just drives people to go see it. When I hear the worst thing ever,
yeah,
like,
honestly, I'm kind of intrigued.
That's what disappointed me about Pixels. I got told, oh, it's the worst thing ever, and I'm like, this is nothing. Like, this is just meh. I thought I was gonna get like room quality nonsense here, and instead it's just a blasé comedy.
Yeah. So there it is, and we will see you guys on the next one. Later.